by the Yorùbá version ìyún tá a mọ̀ sí ẹ̀dá rẹ̀ lédè Yorùbá ìròyìn àgbáyé láti ibi aago 12:15 sí aago 12:20. Bala ìkéde àti polówó ọjà wa kejì fún ìgbóhùnsáfẹ́fẹ́ wa tòní di aago 12:00 sí aago 1 ọ̀sán.
oníjàbọ̀ onísùnsẹ̀yìn.
ìròyìn kékeré ọ̀dọ́ ẹni tọ́lọ́run fiṣẹ́ náà rán yóò tún jẹ́ lájẹ́ yìí tó bá di aago 1 sí aago 1 kọjá ìṣẹ́jú belenja lọ́sàn-án tòní ìròyìn ìlédè abínibí tiwa nílẹ̀ yìí. Vicinity launch half-hour with your darling presenter Precious Ajiwole.
Vicinity FM òkè ló wà ó Vicinity FM yóò oníjàbọ̀.
òun náà yóò máa gorí ẹ̀rọ agbágbé ní dídí aago 1 kọjá ìṣẹ́jú 5 ẹni mi aago 1 kọjá ìṣẹ́jú 5 sí aago 1 àbọ̀ lọ́sàn-án tòní. oládùúgbò mi pẹ̀lú Abdulfatai Giwa èyí ń di aago 1 àbọ̀ sí aago 2 àbọ̀ lọ́sàn-án. ó yí ọ̀tọ̀ mi pẹ̀lú Mujib Ọlákúnlé èyí ń di aago 2 àbọ̀ sí aago 3 àbọ̀. pẹ̀lú jìlú di aago 3 àbọ̀ sí aago 4 àbọ̀ pẹ̀lú Abdulfatai Giwa. Reggae on Monday between hour by 4:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. Why ìkíni lédè Ìjẹ̀ṣà ètò ìkíni Ìjẹ̀ṣà gbòde ìkíni lédè Ìjẹ̀ṣà la mọ̀ sí tẹ́lẹ̀ àmọ́ Ìjẹ̀ṣà gbòde ló jẹ́ pẹ̀lú Ògúnpọ́nlé Ezekiel Franklin. aago 5 sí aago 6 rọ̀lẹ́ lẹ́yìn jẹ́ o. News Nationwide aago 6 sí aago 6 kọjá ìṣẹ́jú márùn-ún. tí àwọn tán extra pẹ̀lú Adéwálé Adéníyà àti àwọn ìsọgbé rẹ̀ dáago 6 kọjá ìṣẹ́jú márùn-ún sí aago 2 àṣálẹ́ kù ìṣẹ́jú márùn-ún. Bala ìkéde àti polówó ọjà wa tó gbẹ̀yìn sí ìgbóhùnsáfẹ́fẹ́ wa tòní di aago 7 kù ìṣẹ́jú márùn-ún sí aago 7 gẹ́gẹ́. nígbà tí aago 7 bá ti lù lẹ́ẹ̀ máa gbọ́ ìròyìn káàkiri ilẹ̀ wa títí di aago 7 kọjá ìṣẹ́jú márùn-ún. Old school music ẹ gbádùn fún àwọn bíi ìṣẹ́jú márùn-ún láti aago 7 kọjá ìṣẹ́jú márùn-ún sí aago 7 àbọ̀. nígbà tí aago 7 àbọ̀ bá ti wá lù lásàálẹ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀ máa gbádùn ìwàásùn òkòtò lórí afẹ́fẹ́ títí di aago 8 àṣálẹ́. aago 8 àṣálẹ́ lẹ́ẹ̀ máa pàdé Abíọ́lá Àlàó lórí ètò yìí tó wa ìwẹ̀ ìdá títí di aago 9. ìgbà tí aago 9 bá ti lò láàmú adágọ́ epo tún di àárọ̀ ọjọ́ kejì bí àwọn àlàkalẹ̀ ètò ọlọ́kan òjọ̀kan bí ó ṣe lọ rèé fún ti ìgbóhùnsáfẹ́fẹ́ àtòyìn. ṣé tẹ̀ ń gbọ́ ìkànnì Vicinity 95.3 FM òkè téńté nílùú Ìkejì ilé. ṣé ń tí ẹ̀ ń gbọ́ wa láìpẹ́ láì jìnnà ẹ̀já mẹ́nuba bí ojú ọjà tẹ̀ ṣe rí nínú pàṣípààrọ̀ tún mú wá àti pé kí lóye tá à ń ta kòkó bó tẹ̀ jẹ́ wọn bá tá a bá lè bá tètè dé ẹja bá tètè dé díẹ̀ náà kó lè pé pàtẹ́sìgùn yóò mọ̀ gbọ́dọ̀ rọgbà gbọ̀n bọ̀ náà.
wọ́n sì kí gbogbo yín lọ́kọ̀.
òkè gàjòkè Vicinity 95.3 FM Ìkejì Ilé Ìjẹ̀ṣà orí òkè téńté la wà.
Can't wait no more. Can't lie, I can't wait no more.
Ibi gan mi ilé ìparọ́ mi sì lè dúró púpọ̀ láti lè gbìyìn gbọ́ lórí ntí ìdíyelé pàṣípààrọ̀ owó ilẹ̀ òkèèrè àti tilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà tó bá wí lóòrọ̀ tòní. nílẹ̀ tó mọ́ wa lónìí ti ṣe ọjọ́ 28 oṣù keje ọdún tá a wà yìí pàṣípààrọ̀ owó dọ́là sówó náírà ilẹ̀ wa Nàìjíríà ó fi yé ni wípé ìwọ́n tó o bá ti ní dọ́là ẹyọ̀kan lọ́wọ́ báyìí ó kàn ṣe pàṣípààrọ̀ rẹ̀ pẹ̀lú ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ́gbẹ̀jọ náírà ó lé náírà 26 tá a mà sí 1,536 náírà 57 kọ́bọ̀.
ṣe ní ṣe yẹ̀yẹ́ láyé tí mo wá ìwọ ló ṣọ́ mi ìwọ ni mo ń lọ. bàbá ìwọ ló ń jọba lórí ọba ìwọ lákọ̀ọ́kọ́ jẹ́ ìwọ ló ń sábà jọba o. kábíyèsí ọba ká ò lè bí lẹ́jọ́ ìwọ ni màá sì títí.
tó bá jẹ́ pé euro ní bẹ lọ́wọ́ yín ìwà fẹ́ ṣe sí náírà ilẹ̀ wa Nàìjíríà.
ọba kì í má ṣe tòṣì kì í má ṣe ṣẹ́rú ẹgbẹ́ mi owó la fi ń kọ́lé owó la fi ń rà mí.
náírà 6 péré ló ohun ti kọ́bọ̀ 40 ló dín ní ẹgbẹ̀jọ náírà. fẹ́ convert €1 ní náírà ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà ó fún wa ní $1,794 40 kobo. tó bá jẹ́ pé pound sterling lẹ́yìn nílọ sẹ́yìn wá wò pé mo fẹ́ ṣẹ̀ sí náírà Nàìjíríà ó jẹ́ ẹgbàá náírà tún lé náírà $51 pẹ̀lú pẹ́pẹ́ sí kọ́bọ̀ 15 yóò ti ṣe $2,049 15 kobo ní pounds kan sí náírà ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà. ó dà pé ipá àmà darapọ̀ mọ́ àwọn bàbá oúnjẹ alá yé wa wípé ìwọ tó bá ta kòkó nísìnyí $8 ní kílò kòkó kan ẹ̀yìn kílógíráàmù kòkó kan tó bá dé. Ṣàkẹ́ sọ pé bí $2.5 kílò kan bá dé. wọ́n ìwádìí ọ̀rí kí ni wíta ṣe ni pé bí $8 kílò kòkó kan báyìí tán. wọ́n ní pẹ̀lú bí iṣu ṣe wà ń gbòòrò tá a wà ní sísìn iṣu báyìí wọ́n ní iṣu sì wọ́n gan lọ́jà ò kí ló fà á. sọ wa ní lákùn ẹja fàyè ìdẹ̀ra wa lọ́rùn ìwọ tó bá ara ilé iṣu kan bẹ́ẹ̀ bí 5 tubers àbí kankan bá ó mà níbi ìmí 15,000 tó bá jẹ́ kúnkùnkùn wíwùn báyìí ìṣàwùrú náà máa fún ẹ ní $10,000 gbà wá. lákùn ẹja àfikínní ẹja àfihàn wa lọ́rùn bí láti máa dá ilé Abdulfatai Giwa lórúkọ tì ṣeun tí ẹ gbọ́ wa dáadáa lóòrọ̀ tó ní tẹ́ bá tún gbádùn wa ọ̀yá ẹja máa darapọ̀ mọ́ àwọn bàbá onípàtẹ ìṣègùn nílùú Ìpẹ̀tù Ìjẹ̀ṣà níbi tí ètò tí wọ́n ti ń lọ lọ́wọ́ ẹja máa lọ bẹ̀ pápápá.
I can't wait no more.
mo kí gbogbo etí tó ń gbọ́ mi nílé àjíǹdara wa yóò máa jẹ́ àìnífẹ́ àìsàn lùbà.
orúkọ tèmi ni bàbá ìgbóná tí gbogbo èèyàn mọ̀ sí ọba iṣan ara mo wà níbi ìpàtẹ tewétegbò tó ń lọ lọ́wọ́ ní agbègbè ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ orí adé ládojúkọ LFK Living Food Kitchen nílùú Ìpẹ̀tù Ìjẹ̀ṣà nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun stand 14 ibùsọ̀ 14 ibẹ̀ ni mo wà. ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ tí ẹ lè máa pè mí sí ni 08161620723 08161620723.
ní ọ̀dọ̀ tiwa òdú ni wà ń ṣàìmọ̀ fọlọ́kọ àwa ẹ̀jẹ̀ méjì nípa àrùn iṣan ara tó ń ṣe ọlọ́mọkùnrin àbọ́lọ́mọbìnrin àbọ́mọdé ní ẹ̀yìn àbágbà iṣan ara tá à ń sọ yìí ó dàbí igi ni tó wá ní ìtàkùn tó tàn ká ẹ mọ̀ pé ìtàkùn yìí òun ló gbé igi dúró tí kan ní ìtàkùn yìí bá ti kú àbí tí ìtàkùn bá ti kú ẹ ti mọ̀ pé igi yìí ti kú nìyẹn Ọlọ́run ò ní jẹ́ kí ìtàkùn ara wa kó kú o tí wọn náà bá ti ní àrùn yìí má sọ pé náà láìnà àtún ti dé àti ń bẹ́ẹ̀ báyìí lọ́dọ̀ tèmi mo ní ẹ̀rọ ìgbàlódé ẹ̀rọ yìí ni máa kọ́kọ́ fi ṣe àyẹ̀wò fún yín tí bá ti ṣe àyẹ̀wò ni máa mọ nǹkan tó fa àrùn iṣan ara tí yín báyìí wọ́n ti ní àìsàn ọlọ́jọ́ pípẹ́ òun ló fa tiẹ̀ ni àbí wọ́n ti ní nǹkan tá à ń pè ní dislocation àdáwọn nǹkan tí wọ́n ti ṣe nígbà ìwé òun ló fa tiẹ̀ àbí wọ́n ti ṣàyẹ̀wò wọ́n ní rheumatism lóní àbí arthritis tí wọ́n bá ti ní nǹkan tá à ń pè ní blockage of the vein yìí àwọn ẹ̀jẹ̀ tó jẹ́ gbogbo àánú iṣan tó máa jẹ́ kí iṣan ara wa máa flow dáadáa òun ló máa ń fa blockage of the vein tó máa fi ń pa iṣan nǹkan tẹ́ máa ń rí tẹ̀lómì nìyẹn tó yẹ pé gbọ̀n ẹsẹ̀ máa gbọ̀n àbí kí gbogbo nǹkan máa wọ́ káàkiri gbogbo rẹ̀ wọ́n lè pè láwọ̀ká wọ́n lè pè ní sangun wọ́n lè pè láàrùn ológun kò ní sọ́dúnkọ̀ tán kì í pè sangun wọ́n lè pè láàrùn ológun kò ní sọ́dúnkọ̀ tán kì í pè nǹkan tá à ń pè ní blockage of the vein yìí òun ló máa ń fa ìtó pọ̀ jù nǹkan tá à ń pè ní blockage of the vein yìí òun ló máa ń fa ìtó pọ̀ jù bẹ́ẹ̀ nítorí náà tó bá ti dọ́dọ̀ wa a máa kọ́kọ́ ṣe àyẹ̀wò a máa mọ nǹkan tó fà ká tó mọ orógùn tá a máa fún yín àbí kí wọ́n jọ́ lọ́mọ àtúnṣe làwọn amójútó. bàbá ìgbóná
ọba iṣan ara mo wà ní ibùsọ̀ 14 stand 14 ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ tí ẹ lè máa pè mí sí ni 08161620723.
ẹ kú dédé àsìkò yìí o gbogbo títí ń gbọ́ mi.
ó kọ́ mi ní bàbá ojúlọ́ba ara tí mo wà níbi ìpàtẹ tewétegbò tí ń lọ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ ní agbègbè ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ orí adé ládojúkọ LFK Living Food Kitchen nílùú Ìpẹ̀tù Ìjẹ̀ṣà nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun ibùsọ̀ 3 ni mo wà stand 3 ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ mi rè 08120968915 5.
àwọn àgbàlagbà yóò bá wọn lójú lọ́ba ara àtẹ́lẹsẹ̀ ní bàbá ọ̀nà ó tọ́ rí bí kurukuru àbọ̀ rí bí efi àbí wọ́n ti tẹ mọ́tò bá tẹ̀ síbi ìrìnà rẹ ọmọ ìjásí kòtò ọmọ ìjásí gegele àbí wọ́n tó ti ẹ̀lẹ́ kàǹkan tó wẹ́ àbí wọ́n tó ẹ̀kú tẹ̀yẹ̀ bá ń bọ̀ wá lókèrè ọ̀ní dẹ́ ti ń bọ̀ wá mọ̀ àtùgbà tó bá súnmọ́ àbí tó bá sọ̀rọ̀ jáde lọ́tọ̀ mọ̀ pé àṣẹ lágbẹ́já ní sọ̀rọ̀ gbogbo ọ̀nà kọ́nà tìrìnà ilé kólé bàmọ́ dààmú rẹ dáńpẹ́ ní ìmọ́lẹ̀ ara mọ̀ ṣe pàtàkì púpọ̀ èrè wo la fẹ́ dá níṣẹ́ wo la fẹ́ dá ṣe gbàgbé pé ìmọ́lẹ̀ ara yìí ní ń dà wá láàmú ẹlòmíì ò dẹ́n tó wọlé mọ̀ ẹlòmíì ò dẹ́n tó jáde mọ̀ ẹlòmíì ò dá kọ́lọ̀ aṣọ tí ń wọ̀ mọ̀ bílẹ̀ bá ṣe ti ṣúbà yìí ẹlòmíì ń sálọ léde torí tí nàmátò bá tẹ̀ síbi ìrìnà rẹ̀ yóò mọ̀ jásí kòtò yóò mọ̀ jásí gegele ẹlòmíì ò lè ka alukurani ẹlòmíì ò lè ka bíbélì èrè wo la fẹ́ dá níṣẹ́ wo la fẹ́ dá ṣe gbàgbé pé ìmọ́lẹ̀ ara yìí ní ń dà wá láàmú.
ẹ kàn sí èmi bàbá ojúlọ́ba ara.
tó bá tiẹ̀ fẹ́ mọ ipò tí àìlera ìrìnà rẹ wà mú ọwọ́ kan kó fi bò tọ̀tún kó látòsì àbí kó mú ọwọ́ kan kó fi bò tòsì kó látọ̀tún ọ lè mọ ipò tí àìlera ìrìnà rẹ wà ẹlòmíì ò dẹ́n ṣe ń bọ̀ wá lókèrè mọ́ ẹlòmíì ò dá tọ́pẹ́ mọ́ yàtọ̀ sáì ná ọba ló ń fa ẹlòmíì káàkiri ọtí lọ gbá ọtí làwo ọtí ẹ̀tí wà lọ́gùn lé fúnra rẹ mo ti wà níbi ìpàtẹ́ tẹ́wé tẹ́gbò tí ń lọ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́.
tantiri ibùsọ̀ kẹta ibẹ̀ ni mo wà.
àbíjálẹ̀ mi bá tiẹ̀ sùn lálẹ́ ó fẹ́ lè ṣe ẹ̀yọ́ lẹ́ẹ̀márùn lẹ́ẹ̀mẹ́fà kílẹ̀ tó mọ́ tẹ́yọ̀ ṣiṣẹ́ bá pọ̀ lápọ̀jù a máa kọ́ bá ìmọ́lẹ̀ ara wa ọlọ́run ní sọ́wọ́ di táwọn lé o ẹlòmíì ò da ilà àtẹ́lẹwọ́ rẹ̀ mọ̀ ẹlòmíì ò da 500 naira mọ̀ yàtọ̀ sí 1000 bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ń bọ̀ wá lókèrè mo lẹ́lòmíì ò da mọ̀ àgbà tó bá sún mọ́ bàbá tó bí mi ó ti lé ní 120 years nǹkan alukurani fúnra rẹ̀ ó dẹ́n tó wọlé mọ̀ ó dẹ́n tó jáde mọ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ mi bá fẹ́ kọjá títì yóò béèrè pé bòdé lákùsẹ̀ fẹ́ kọjá ní kẹ́mi kọjá kò rí náà dáadáa ni ẹlòmíì tiẹ̀ sojú lásán gbogbo ọ̀nà kọ́nà tó lè gbà kó máa dà ọ́ láàmú ọtí wá lọ léwòsàn wọ́n ti pè é ní bákan kò sí ìtọ́ gbódọ́dọ̀
bàbá ojúlọ́ba ara.
tọ́ ní dúpẹ́ fọlọ́ ẹlòmíì ẹ̀sẹ̀ máa retí ọmọ tí ó ràn lọ́wọ́ láti mú jáde yálà ó ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ ni àbó ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ tipẹ́tipẹ́.
kàn sí èmi bàbá ojúlọ́ba ara níbi ìpàtẹ tewétegbò tí ń lọ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ stand 3 ibùsọ̀ kẹta ibẹ̀ ni mo wà ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ mi rè 08120968915 08120968915.
pẹ̀lú ògùn ọlọ́run tó bá jọ́dọ̀ wa àdúrà wọ́n gbà.
mo kí gbogbo etí tó ń gbọ́ mi ní dédé àsìkò yìí wípé àjíǹde ara yóò máa jẹ́ o a ò ní fi àìsàn lògbà èmi bàbá ọ̀fà aṣojú akọni ìṣègùn ìbílẹ̀ ní gbogbo ohun tí jẹ́ Kwara State àti wá wà níbi ìpàtẹ ìṣègùn ìbílẹ̀ tó ń lọ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ láti fi ewé àtegbò ká fi ṣe àǹfààní fún àwọn ọmọ ènìyàn gbogbo òwò tó o bá ń gbọ́ mi yálà ọlọ́jọ́ tó ti pẹ́ ni àbó ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ òun róríṣiríṣi àpẹẹrẹ lágbo ara rẹ mo sọ fún yín mo láìsàn tó kọ̀ tí ò lọ iṣan ara ní ẹwẹ́ni tó mọ̀ nípa àtọ́jú iṣan ara tọwọ́ bá ń gbọ̀n tí gbogbo ẹsẹ̀ ń gbọ̀n táàrin tí bàtà ń bọ́lẹ̀ àbá fẹsẹ̀ lélẹ̀ ó dàbí pàǹtẹ́gò mọ́lẹ̀ àbá rìn láti ibùsọ̀ kan sí ibùsọ̀ kejì àjókòó bí ẹ̀mẹ́rin iṣan ara ni ò fọ́nṣàn bó ṣe yẹ kó máa fọ́nṣàn torí wípé àtẹ̀jẹ̀ àtomi méjèèjì yìí ló kún fún ara ọ̀nà tí wọ́n sì gbà òun náà ni àgọ́ iṣan ara tí wọn ò bá ti rí bí rìn bí wọ́n ṣe fẹ́ ìṣòro ti dé bàgọ́ ara nù ẹlòmíì yóò fẹ́ gbé nǹkan ọwọ́ rẹ̀ yóò dédé gan á wò pé kí ló dé láàrin seconds yóò tún ti nà padà ìṣòro ń bá ṣan ara nù kó tó di wípé yóò jàn wá mọ́lẹ̀ yóò di stroke ẹ tètè takìjí ẹ máa bọ̀ wá sọ́dọ̀ èmi bàbá ọ̀fà níbi ìpàtẹ ìṣègùn ìbílẹ̀ tó ń lọ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́. ní agbègbè ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ oríadé ládojúkọ LFK Living Food Kitchen nílùú ìpẹ́tù ìjẹ̀ṣà nípínlẹ̀ ọ̀ṣun.
ẹ máa bọ̀ wá stand 1 làwa o ẹ lè pè wá sórí nọ́mbà yìí 0906 667 5343 0906 667 5343.
tá a bá wá ń sọ nípa àwọn ọmọkùnrin ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọmọkùnrin ló níṣòro àìlèṣe déédéé àìlèṣe dáadáa tó bá di ọ̀gànjọ́ òru oríṣiríṣi ìtàn ni ó máa sọ toró ti dọ̀lẹ́ bóun náà jí nídàjí tó ní kó ń ṣẹ̀yọ́ ó ti di pé kó fọwọ́ gbẹjọ́ kó tó lè ṣẹ̀yọ́ léyìí tí ò yẹ kó rí bẹ́ẹ̀ tọmọkùnrin bá jí nídàjí ó yẹ kí nǹkan rẹ̀ ó bá jí ni tí ó bá fẹ́ ṣẹ̀yọ́ kó náà dúró bí ọmọkùnrin kó máa nà tọ̀ọ̀ kó sì máa ṣẹ̀yọ́ ni gbogbo àwa tí ṣòro san ara ti wá kó bá tá ò lè tàtẹ̀kànlẹ̀ gbọ̀ngbọ̀ngbọ̀n a ò lè sojú ṣe bó ṣe yẹ máa bọ̀ wá sọ́dọ̀ èmi bàbá ọ̀fà.
stand 1 làwa o.
ẹlòmíì àti ẹ̀mí kò ségbòogi tó lè ṣiṣẹ́ fún un bàbá wọ́n sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ mọ́ máa bọ̀ wá sọ́dọ̀ èmi bàbá ọ̀fà tá a bá ń sọ nípa egbòogi ajísan egbòogi amára ti pépépé nílé iṣẹ́ mi bàbá ọ̀fà tọkùnrin ó lè ta kébé tí ó lè sojúṣe lọ́dọ̀ aya rẹ̀ dáadáa àbáwá tó ṣe pé láàrin alẹ́ kílẹ̀ tó mọ́ àtọ̀jù ní tiẹ̀ ni máa bọ̀ wá sọ́dọ̀ èmi bàbá ọ̀fà.
ẹ máa bọ̀ wá stand 1 làwa o ẹ lè pè wá sórí nọ́mbà yìí 0906 667 5343.
mo kí gbogbo etí tó ń gbọ́ mi nílé àjíǹdara wa yóò máa jẹ́ àìnífẹ́ àìsàn lùbà.
orúkọ tèmi ni bàbá ìgbóná tí gbogbo èèyàn mọ̀ sí ọba iṣan ara mo wà níbi ìpàtẹ tewétegbò tó ń lọ lọ́wọ́ ní agbègbè ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ oríadé ládojúkọ LFK Living Food Kitchen nílùú ìpẹ́tù ìjẹ̀ṣà nípínlẹ̀ ọ̀ṣun stand 14 ibùsọ̀ 14 ibẹ̀ ni mo wà ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ tí ẹ lè máa pè mí sí ni 081 61 62 0723 081 61 62 0723 723.
ní ọ̀dọ̀ tiwa òdú ni wà ń ṣàìmọ̀ polóko àwa ẹ̀jẹ̀ méjì nípa àrùn iṣan ara tó ń ṣe ọlọ́mọkùnrin àbọ́lọ́mọbìnrin àbọ́mọdé ní ẹ̀yìn àbágbà iṣan ara tá à ń sọ yìí ó dàbí igi ni tó wá ní ìtàkùn tó tàn ká ẹ mọ̀ pé ìtàkùn yìí òun ló gbé igi dúró tí kan ní ìtàkùn yìí bá ti kú àbí tí ìtàkùn bá ti kú ẹ ti mọ̀ pé igi yìí ti kú nìyẹn Ọlọ́run ò ní jẹ́ kí ìtàkùn ara wa kó kú o tí wọn náà bá ti ní àrùn yìí má sọ pé náà láìnà àtúntì dé àti ń bẹ́ẹ̀ báyìí lọ́dọ̀ tèmi mo ní ẹ̀rọ ìgbàlódé ẹ̀rọ yìí ni máa kọ́kọ́ fi ṣe àyẹ̀wò fún yín tí má ti ṣe àyẹ̀wò ni máa mọ nǹkan tó fa àrùn iṣan ara tí báyìí wọ́n ti ní àìsàn ọlọ́jọ́ pípẹ́ òun ló fa tiẹ̀ ni àbí wọ́n ti ní nǹkan tá à ń pè ní dislocation àdáwọn nǹkan tí wọ́n ti ṣe nígbà ìwé òun ló fa tiẹ̀ àbí wọ́n ti ṣàyẹ̀wò wọ́n ní rheumatism lónìí àbí arthritis tí wọ́n bá ti ní nǹkan tá à ń pè ní blockage of the vein yìí àwọn ẹ̀jẹ̀ tó jẹ́ gbogbo àánú iṣan tó máa jẹ́ kí iṣan ara wa máa flow dáadáa òun ló máa ń fa blockage of the vein tó máa fi ń pa iṣan nǹkan tẹ́ máa ń ní tẹ̀lómì nìyẹn tó yẹ pé tó bá tètè mójútó ó máa ń fa nǹkan tá à ń pè ní àrùnmọ́lẹ́gùn àbí stroke fún ni ìwọ wá sọ́dọ̀ tiwa kó gbà pé nǹkan ju nǹkan lọ.
bàbá ìgbóná mo wà ní ibùsọ̀ kẹrìnlá stand 14 ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ tí ẹ lè máa pè mí sí ni 08161620723.
kí wọ́n máa ní wọ́n kú òun ní kòlùbàkòlùbà ìwọ ò lè rò pé náà kan sí kejì àti máa rẹ̀ wá látinú àbí tí wọ́n máa rí pé iṣan ara iṣan ẹsẹ̀ iṣan apá wọn máa fà ẹ́ so ni àbí tí wọ́n bá ti rìn díẹ̀ bá gbogbo ẹ̀yìn máa dùn ẹ̀yìn ọ̀pọ̀ ẹ̀yìn gbogbo gbà ìwọ tí ẹ lè jókòó tó bá ní kò dìde ọ̀pọ̀ ẹ̀yìn ló máa dìmú ni àbí kí wọ́n rí pé gbogbo ẹsẹ̀ máa dùn ẹ̀ ìwọ lè gbápá ò lè gbẹ́sẹ̀ àbí kọ́wọ́ wúwo ẹsẹ̀ wúwo àti gbé ogun ni ìwọ ò lè rìn láì má lọ́pàá ìwọ kan wà lójú kan ni ò lè dá rìn àbí kí wọ́n rí pé ọwọ́ máa gbọ̀n ẹsẹ̀ máa gbọ̀n àbí kí gbogbo nǹkan máa wọ́ káàkiri gbogbo ara ẹ̀ wọ́n lè pè láwọ̀ká wọ́n lè pè ní sangun wọ́n lè pè lárùmọ̀lẹ́gùn kò ní sọ́dúnkọ̀ tán kì í pè nǹkan tá à ń pè ní blockage of the vein yìí òun ló máa ń fa ìtó pọ̀ jù bẹ́ẹ̀ nítorí náà tó bá ti dọ́dọ̀ wà á máa kọ́kọ́ ṣe àyẹ̀wò àmọ́ nǹkan tó fà á tó mọ orógùn tá a máa fún yín àbí kí wọ́n jẹ́ lọ́mọkùnrin tó bá ti jí láàrọ̀ nǹkan lọ́mọkùnrin ò lè bẹ́ẹ̀ jí àbí tí wọ́n bá ti wà pẹ̀lú olólùfẹ́ àti ṣe ẹ̀kan gan ogun ni tí wọ́n bá ti ṣẹ̀kan bá wọn máa di ṣẹ̀kan sùn lọ́dọ̀ olólùfẹ́ wá sọ́dọ̀ wà nípa iṣan ara ìwúnú kọ́lá oṣooṣù làwọn amójútó.
bàbá ìgbóná ọba iṣan ara mo wà ní ibùsọ̀ kẹrìnlá stand 14 ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ tí ẹ lè máa pè mí sí ni 08161620723 08161620723.
ẹ kú dédé àsìkò yìí o gbogbo etí tí ń gbọ́ mi.
ó kọ́ mi ní bàbá ojúlọ́ba ara tí mo wà níbi ìpàtẹ tewétegbò tí ń lọ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ ní agbègbè ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ orí adé ládojúkọ LFK living food kitchen nílùú Ìpẹ̀tù Ìjẹ̀ṣà nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun. ibùsọ̀ kẹta ni mo wà stand 3 ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ mi rè 08120968915.
àwọn àgbàlagbà yóò bá wọn lójú lọ́ba ara àtẹ́lẹsẹ̀ ní bàbá ọ̀nà ó tọ́ rí bí kurukuru àbọ̀ rí bí efi àbí wọ́n ti ní mọ́tò bá tẹ̀ síbi ìrìnà rẹ ọmọ ìjà sí kòtò ọmọ ìjà sí gegele àbí wọ́n tó tiẹ̀ lé kàǹkà tó wẹ́ àbí wọ́n tó pété yẹn bá ń bọ̀ wá lókèrè ọ̀ní dẹ́ ti ń bọ̀ wá mọ̀ àgbà tó bá súnmọ́ àbí tó bá sọ̀rọ̀ jáde lọ́tọ̀ mọ̀ pé àṣẹ lágbẹ́já ní sọ̀rọ̀ gbogbo ọ̀nà kọ́nà tìrìnà ilé kólé bàmọ́ dààmú rẹ dáńpẹ́ ní ìmọ́lẹ̀ ara mọ̀ ṣe pàtàkì púpọ̀ èrè wo la fẹ́ dá iṣẹ́ wo la fẹ́ dá ṣe gbàgbé pé ìmọ́lẹ̀ ara yìí ní ń dà wá láàmú ẹlòmíì ò dẹ́n tó wọlé mọ̀ ẹlòmíì ò dẹ́n tó jáde mọ̀ ẹlòmíì ò dákọ́lọ́ aṣọ tí ń wọ̀ mọ̀ bílẹ̀ bá tiẹ̀ ti súbáyì ẹlòmíì ń sálọ léde torí tí lẹ́mọ́tò bá tẹ̀ síbi ìrìnà rẹ̀ yóò mọ̀ jásí kòtò yóò mọ̀ jásí gegele ẹlòmíì ò lè ka alukurani ẹlòmíì ò lè ka bíbélì ìrìnwó la fẹ́ dá ní iṣẹ́ wo la fẹ́ dá sí gbàgbé pé ìmọ́lẹ̀ ara yìí ní ń dà wá láàmú.
ẹ kàn sí èmi bàbá ojúlọ́ba ara mo wà ní ibùsọ̀ kẹta stand 3 tàbí kẹ́ pè mí sórí ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ mi 08120968915.
tó bá tiẹ̀ fẹ́ mọ ipò tí àìlera ìrìnà rẹ wà mú ọwọ́ kan kó fi bòtò tún kó látòsí àbí kó mú ọwọ́ kan kó fi bòtò sí kó látòtún ọ lè mọ ipò tí àìlera ìrìnà rẹ wà ẹlòmíì ò dẹ́ ṣe ń bọ̀ wá lókèrè mọ́ ẹlòmíì ò dá tọ́pẹ́ mọ́ yàtọ̀ sáì ná ọba ló ń fa ẹlòmíì káàkiri ọtí lọ gbá ọtí làwo ọtí ẹ̀ tí wọ́n lọ́gùn lé fúnra rẹ mo ti wà níbi ìpàtẹ tewétegbò tí ń lọ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́.
stand 3 ibùsọ̀ kẹta ibẹ̀ ni mo wà.
àbí tẹ́lẹ̀ mi bá tiẹ̀ sùn lálẹ́ ó fẹ́ lè ṣe ẹ̀yọ́ lẹ́ẹ̀márùn lẹ́ẹ̀mẹ́fà kílẹ̀ tó mọ́ tẹ́yọ̀ ṣiṣẹ́ bá pọ̀ lápọ̀jù a máa kọ́ bá ìmọ́lẹ̀ ara wa ọlọ́run ní sọ wá di táwọn lé o ẹlòmíì ò da ìlà àtẹ́lẹwọ́ rẹ mọ̀ ẹlòmíì ò da 500 naira mọ̀ yàtọ̀ sí 1000 bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ń bọ̀ wá lókèrè mo lẹ́lòmíì ò da mọ̀ àgbà tó bá sún mọ́ bàbá tó bí mi ó ti lé ní 120 years ń ka alukurani fúnra rẹ̀ ó dẹ́n tó wọlé mọ̀ ó dẹ́n tó jáde mọ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ mi bá fẹ́ kọjá títì yóò béèrè pé bòdẹ́ dákùnṣẹ́ fẹ́ kọjá ní kẹ́mi kọjá kò rí náà dáadáa ni ẹlòmíì tiẹ̀ sojú lásán gbogbo ọ̀nà kọ́nà tó lè gbà kó máa dà ọ́ láàmú ọtí wá lọ léwòsàn wọ́n ti pè é ní bákan kò sí ìtọ́ gbẹ́dọ̀dọ̀
bàbá ojúlọ́ba ara.
tọ́ọ̀ ní dúpẹ́ fọlọ́ ẹlòmíì ẹ̀sẹ̀ máa retí ọmọ tí ó ràn lọ́wọ́ láti mú jáde yálà ó ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ ni àbó ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ tipẹ́tipẹ́.
kàn sí èmi bàbá ojúlọ́ba ara níbi ìpàtẹ tewétegbò tí ń lọ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ stand 3 ibùsọ̀ kẹta ibẹ̀ ni mo wà ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ mi rè 08120968915 08120968915.
pẹ̀lú ògùn ọlọ́run tó bá jọ́dọ̀ wa àdúrà wọ́n gbà.
mo kí gbogbo etí tó ń gbọ́ mi ní dédé àsìkò yìí wípé àjíǹde ara yóò máa jẹ́ o a ò ní fi àìsàn lògbà èmi bàbá ọ̀fà aṣojú akọni ìṣègùn ìbílẹ̀ ní gbogbo ohun tí jẹ́ Kwara State àti wá wà níbi ìpàtẹ ìṣègùn ìbílẹ̀ tó ń lọ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ láti fi ewé àtegbò ká fi ṣe àǹfààní fún àwọn ọmọ ènìyàn gbogbo òwò tó o bá ń gbọ́ mi yálà olọ́jọ́ tó ti pẹ́ ni àbó ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ òun róríṣiríṣi àpẹẹrẹ lágbo ara rẹ mo sọ fún yín mo láìsàn tó kọ̀ tí ò lọ iṣan ara ní ẹwẹ́ni tó mọ̀ nípa àtọ́jú iṣan ara tọwọ́ bá ń gbọ̀n tí gbogbo ẹsẹ̀ ń gbọ̀n táàrin tí bàtà ń bọ́lẹ̀ àbá fẹsẹ̀ lélẹ̀ ó dàbí pàǹtẹ́gò mọ́lẹ̀ àbá rìn láti ibùsọ̀ kan sí ibùsọ̀ kejì àjókòó bí ẹ̀mẹ́rin iṣan ara ni ò fọ́nṣàn bó ṣe yẹ kó máa fọ́nṣàn torí wípé àtẹ̀jẹ̀ àtomi méjèèjì yìí ló kún fún ara ọ̀nà tí wọ́n sì gbà òun náà ni àgọ́ iṣan ara tí wọn ò bá ti rí bí rìn bí wọ́n ṣe fẹ́ ìṣòro ti dé bàgọ́ ara nù ẹlòmíì yóò fẹ́ gbé nǹkan ọwọ́ rẹ̀ yóò dédé gan á wò pé kí ló dé láàrin seconds yóò tún ti nà padà ìṣòro ń bá ṣan ara nù kó tó di wípé yóò jàn wá mọ́lẹ̀ yóò di stroke ẹ tètè tákìjí ẹ máa bọ̀ wá sọ́dọ̀ èmi bàbá ọ̀fà níbi ìpàtẹ ìṣègùn ìbílẹ̀ tó ń lọ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́.
ní agbègbè ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ oríadé ládojúkọ LFK Living Food Kitchen nílùú ìpẹ̀tù ìjẹ̀ṣà nípínlẹ̀ ọ̀ṣun.
ẹ máa bọ̀ wá stand one làwa o ẹ lè pè wá sórí nọ́mbà yìí 0906 667 5343 0906 667 5343.
tá a bá wá ń sọ nípa àwọn ọmọkùnrin ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọmọkùnrin ló níṣòro àìlèṣe déédéé àìlèṣe dáadáa tó bá di ọ̀gànjọ́ òru oríṣiríṣi ìtàn ni ó máa sọ toró ti dọ̀lẹ́ bóun náà jí nídàjí tó ní kó ń ṣẹ̀yọ́ ó ti di pé kó fọwọ́ gbẹjọ́ kó tó lè ṣẹ̀yọ́ léyìí tí ò yẹ kó rí bẹ́ẹ̀ tọmọkùnrin bá jí nídàjí ó yẹ kí nǹkan rẹ̀ ó bá jí ni tí ó bá fẹ́ ṣẹ̀yọ́ kó náà dúró bí ọmọkùnrin kó máa nà tọ̀ọ̀ kó sì máa ṣẹ̀yọ́ ni gbogbo àwa tí ṣòro san ara ti wá kó bá tá ò lè tàtẹ̀ kan lẹ̀ gbọ̀ngbọ̀ngbọ̀n a ò lè sojú ṣe bó ṣe yẹ máa bọ̀ wá sọ́dọ̀ èmi bàbá ọ̀fà.
stand one làwa o.
ẹlòmíì àti ẹ̀lí kò ségbòogi tó lè ṣiṣẹ́ fún kódà wọ́n sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ mọ́ máa bọ̀ wá sọ́dọ̀ èmi bàbá ọ̀fà tá a bá ń sọ nípa egbòogi ajísan egbòogi amára ti pépépé nílé iṣẹ́ mi bàbá ọ̀fà tọkùnrin ó lè ta kébé tí ó lè sojúṣe lọ́dọ̀ aya rẹ̀ dáadáa àbáwá tó ṣe pé láàrin alẹ́ kílẹ̀ tó mọ́ àtọ̀jú ní tiẹ̀ ni máa bọ̀ wá sọ́dọ̀ èmi bàbá ọ̀fà.
ẹ máa bọ̀ wá stand one làwa o ẹ lè pè wá sórí nọ́mbà yìí 0906 667 5343 0906 667 5343.
ilé iṣẹ́ rédíò kan ń bẹ òun láyé ń gbọ́ ó jálé ó jákó amúlùdùn ní ẹgbọ́nà rédíò wo là ń wí. Vicinity FM 95.3 FM là ń sọ. Vicinity FM ìkejì ilé láti ń gbóhùn sáfẹ́fẹ́. Vicinity FM sporting political programs o. Vicinity FM ìròyìn tí o lè jẹ́ gbàgbọ́ nínú rárá. Vicinity FM educative program náà ó kẹta mọ́. Vicinity FM oníṣòwò oníṣẹ́ owó. Vicinity FM polówó ọjà kájẹ́ wọ́gbà. Vicinity FM reliable dependable àwa ni o. Vicinity FM unique praise ló ń pariwo pé. Vicinity FM ní. Vicinity 95.3 FM orí òkè téńté la wà.
Can't wait no more. Can't lie, I can't wait no more. Can't lie, can't wait no more. Can't lie, I can't wait no more.
I just don't want to really. Yeah, keep showing your best, Papa. Let's be before it gets too late. I just don't worry. Yeah, keep showing your best, Papa. Let's be before it gets too late. Olúwa jọ̀wọ́ ṣílẹ̀kùn ayọ̀. Jẹ́ kí n rí ẹgbà lójoojúmọ́. Káyé wá ṣe rí mi ṣe yẹ̀yẹ́ láyé tí mo wá. Ìwọ ló ṣọ́ mi, ìwọ ni mo mọ̀. Bàbá ìwọ ló ń jọba lórí ọba, ìwọ lápapọ̀ jẹ́ ìwọ ló ń fàbà jọba o. Kábíyèsí ọba tá ò lè bí lẹ́jọ́, ìwọ ni màá sì títí ayé. Lójoojúmọ́, ṣàlùwọ̀ oúnjẹ pé náà. Láyé tí mo wá kí n má ṣe tòṣì, kí n má ṣe ṣẹ̀rú ẹgbẹ́ mi. Owó la fi ń kọ́lé, owó la fi ń ralẹ̀, owó la fi ń gbélé ayé gbà. Ẹlẹ́dàá jọ̀wọ́ má jẹ́ ṣìṣe. Ẹ̀bẹ̀ ni mo bẹ̀rù.
Ajé jọ̀wọ́ wà níbí, owó jọ̀wọ́ wà níbí. Ìyá òkè sọ́nà bẹ̀rẹ̀ bàbá, let's make the fight get too late.
me before it gets too late. Something wants to change. Something wants to change. Something wants to change. After they sleep, they wake up, I they thank God. But God, Baba, me. Now you open way for the small boy. Forever grateful about me, man. I know we say I too sabi, but you choosing me. Small boy doing it. I'm getting right on it. Nothing can stop me now.
Radio just got excited.
Let's go.
This is Vicinity FM 95.3.
Enjoy.
We are waiting today. It's a short thing because it's Monday. We're grateful for another start of a new week. It's the 28th day in the month of July. July is gradually slipping away. Just 3 days to bid July farewell. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's be grateful for the journey so far into the year 2025, either with bliss, with challenges, obstacles. We're still here. It is still an opportunity for us, to get back on the track. I am OLUWAFUNKE Israel. This is how we get to say a beautiful morning to you from the hilltop of Ikejile. This morning, where we get to bring you all of the top stories on our dailies and the details of the story. And I'm going to say, hope you had a blissful and restful weekend.
Yeah, good morning. Alhamdulillah for another down. Alhamdulillah for another week. Sorry. Thank God for another week. Thank God for another down. It's the 28th day in the month of July. Maybe 2-3 days more to end the month of July. How has your July been? It's never too late to still achieve something this month. So, and welcome to your program Newspaper Review on Vicinity 95.3 FM. I am Aisha Ibrahim. Do stay tuned with us.
We'll be taking top stories from Nigerian Tribune, The Guardian, The Punch newspaper.
And then from me this morning, I'll be taking the newspapers on The Nation, The Vanguard, and The Daily Trust newspaper.
And let me begin with Nigerian Tribune. Illicit financial flows. Experts push reform to curb $470 billion annual loss. Nigeria loses $18 billion yearly to profit shifting, tax avoidance. Minister, every unaccounted dollar is lost. Road, hospital, job, FRS, bus. Court nullifies NYSC skits ban, declares it unconstitutional. And Professor Netawe Gosheyiwada is the right man for the job as Tantata CEO hails him for coming on board as the new national chairman of the All Progressives Congress (APC).
And from me this morning, from the Nation newspaper, reclaiming what is ours. FIRS boss Spitfire as federal government tackles illicit funds flow. Lagos doctors declare 3-day warning strike over salary deductions. Sanwo-Olu bars council chairman from appointing SLGs supervisory councillors. Pius Chase deputy Eleka leads defectors to ADC in Ikiti. 25-day power outage looms as TCN begins maintenance. Olanipekun Physiotherapy Center inaugurated. Shetima in Addis Ababa for United Nations Food System Summit. FHC CJ approves vacation court for Southeast Zone. 10 million naira support fund for tertiary institutions workers. And that's all from the Nation newspaper this morning.
And move to the Punch. APC defends Iwata amidst fierce opposition over INEC ties. States on high alert as Adamawa flood death toll rises. Fuel war brews as Dangote presses Tinubu to ban import. Ipman veteran push back. One against monopoly. Dangote insists on Nigeria's first policy. Professor Natawi Goshe Iwata is the right man. It is a salute from Tanta the CNPBT door-to-door, whatever that is. It's on the Punch newspaper this morning.
And from the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, 5 die, over 50 injured in Adamawa flood. World Hepatitis Day, patient decry funding challenge job losses. Electricity supply worsens despite high tariff. Bandits killed many captives in Zamfara, survivors. Tinubu hosts Super Falcons today after trophy parade. Niger boat mishap, 15 bodies recovered, 3 missing. Constitutional review, Northwest demand 8 additional states. And those are the news stories from the Daily Trust newspaper this morning.
On the Guardian, ADC demands audit of Tinubu's 200 trillion naira debt trajectory, slams fiscal record, seek permission to appoint 8 supervisors. Sanwo-Olu tells new LG chairman. 2023 polls, court dismisses INEC's prayer against prosecuting electoral offenders. Refineries in Jalkuta still fail revival efforts despite 6.5 trillion naira spent in 10 years. NNPC refinery term in debt. Will Nigeria earnestly squander its youth dividend? 2026, Atiku vows to deliver Ekiti governorship to ADC. Falada condemns renaming of Lagos streets. 5 dead, 55 injured as flood ravages at Damawa settlement. International Day, Nigerian hepatitis war falters amid low testing, high treatment cost and ignorance. NMA suspends planned strike, gives FG fresh 21-day ultimatum. Court nullifies NYSC's cat ban, declares decision unconstitutional and breach of rights.
And from the Vanguard newspaper this morning, malaria kills 9 Nigerians every hour, said by SFH. 2027 presidency, we are not fixated on zoning, said by ADC. Miracles of Rabat, how we overcame Morocco by Super Falcons. $21 billion loan, ADC demands full audit of last 10 years loans. 2025 budget funding under pressure as oil output underperforms in H1 2025. And that's all from the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. From the Vanguard newspaper this morning.
Yeah, let me take this time to say to our Super Falcons, a job well done. You did it for the first time. You tried again second, and now you're taking. You brought the cup home, the WAFCON, for the 10th time. That's quite a good one, and a record that it will take centuries to be broken. Now I come to the details of the stories on Nigerian Tribune this morning. And this is an Oshun Ow. APC plot to win 2026. Oshun in 2026. Well, party caucus boast about takeover bid. The last has yet to be heard about the ongoing power play involving the All Progressives Congress and the Osun state government over the withheld state local government allocation, as it was learnt that more plans are afoot by the APC top shot to enable the sacked APC chairman to become beneficiaries of the withheld funds. This is just as more details have emerged on why the remote defection of the Osun state governor, Senator Ademola Adeleke, to the APC failed to materialize, with a finger of suspicion pointing at the group loyal to the Minister of the Economy, Binka Wiyika Oyitola.
And from the Nation newspaper this morning, Senate gets fresh demand for more states in Northwest. Indigenes of the Northwest have renewed calls for the creation of new states in the region. They cited improved development, equity, and security as the key motivations for their demand. The indigenes presented their demand at the Northwest Zonal Public Hearing of the Senate Committee on the Review of 1999 Constitution as amended on Saturday and Sunday in Kano. The committee received proposals for the creation of Bayajida and Karaduwa states from Katsina State, Kanji from part of Kebbi and Niger, Tiga and Gari from Kano State, Gurara and New Kaduna from Kaduna State, and Adija from Jigawa State.
ADC woes not ahead of 2027 elections. Former Senate President and acting National Chairman of the African Democratic Congress, ADC, Senator David Mark, has declared that the socio-economic and political challenges confronting northern Nigeria are self-inflicted and must be addressed through a deliberate return to unity and shared purpose. Delivering the keynote address at the third plenary session of the Northern Political Consultative Group held at the weekend in Abuja, Senator Mark said the North must reclaim its lost glory by embracing the values that once made it a model of peace, development, and justice in the country. The North must return to the path of oneness, he said, and warned that the current challenges facing the region, ranging from insecurity to economic stagnation, are rooted in internal division, indifference, and neglect of shared values.
Still from the Nation newspaper this morning, federal government pegs quarterly interest for ministers at 700,000 naira, personal secretary, DGs at 500,000 naira. Through one of the two circulars from the Accountant General of the Federation, Mr. Shamsuddin Ogunjimi, the federal government has pegged the quarterly interest of at 700,000 naira and 500,000 naira for ministers and permanent secretaries and directors general. The two major circulars introduce new thresholds for interest and advances across ministries, departments, and agencies as part of effort to show up transparency, accountability, and efficiency in the use of public funds. In the first circular titled Approval and Implementation of the Year 2025 Revised Annual General Interest Warrant, the federal government approved revised interest limit for public affairs, empowering them to access and manage cash advances within clearly defined boundaries.
Avoid Olu masquerade at all cost. Olubadan Palace wants women. The palace of Olubadan for Ibadan land has warned residents and visitors to Ibadan, the capital city of Oyo State, particularly women, to avoid the most popular masquerade known as Olulu, saying it is a taboo for women to cross its path. This is contained in a statement from the palace, signed by Chief Press Secretary to Olubadan of Ibadan land, Chief Ayode Solomon Olugbemiga, and made available to newsmen. According to the statement, the annual Egungun Olulu Festival will commence Monday 28th and end on Thursday 31st July, while calling on law enforcement to be alive to their responsibilities. The palace urged women not to cross the path of the masquerade for their own interests. I think the time should be stipulated so they know when and where to move. But if you still want to read more on that story, it's on Nigerian Tribune.
And from the Nation newspaper this morning, Nentawe is perfect fit. Tomplo's door-to-door campaign says. The President Bola Ahmed Tinubu door-to-door campaign, a group founded by the chairman of Tantita Security Service Nigeria Limited, AISHA government Ekpemopolo, said the choice of Yewada bodes well for the future of the party. The group congratulated the new national chairman, describing as a perfect fit for the job. It lauded President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the National Executive Committee (NEC) of the APC for their visionary and prudent decision in electing President Yewada as the party's helmsman and pledged to support him.
And now back to Nigerian Tribune. Tinubu's re-election will stabilize Nigeria. Babayemi, a gubernatorial aspirant on the platform of All Progressives Congress, Osun State, Dr. Babayemi, has asserted that the victory of President Bola Tinubu in the 2027 general election would ensure the stability of Nigeria and its economy for the good of the populace. Besides, Babayemi said members of APC in Osun were already working assiduously towards making sure that the party emerged victorious in the 2026 state governorship election.
Still from the Nation newspaper this morning, Lagos doctors declared 3 days warning strike over salary deduction. Medical doctors in the employ of Lagos state government from today embark on a 3-day warning strike to protest what they described as illegal and disrespectful salary deduction by the state. The strike, announced by the Medical Guild, the umbrella body of medical and dental practitioners in the state public service, will begin at 8 a.m. and end at the same time on Thursday. At a news conference held at the Guard Secretariat in Lagos, Chairman Dr. Japet Olugbogi said the action followed series of failed attempts to address the matter through dialogue. For further reading, you can check on the Nation newspaper with the headline "Lagos doctors declare 3-day warning strike over salary deductions."
And now this brings me to Punch. On the Punch this morning, Nigeria's $21 billion. What is it called now? Nigeria $21 billion loan. Tinubu's $21 billion loan debt trap for Nigeria, ADC, the African Democratic Congress, on Sunday condemned what it described as the fiscal vandalism of President Bola Tinubu's administration following the National Assembly's approval of an additional $21 billion in foreign loans. The party said the new borrowing spree could drive Nigeria's public debt beyond 200 trillion naira by the end of 2025 without any visible economic gains to show for it, in a statement issued by its National Publicity Secretary. Malam Bolaji Abdullahi, the ADC, accused Tinubu of accelerating Nigeria's descent into a debt trap far worse than what the country experienced under his predecessor.
Still from the Nation newspaper this morning, 25-day power outage looms as this TCN begins maintenance. Electricity consumers in Lagos State will experience intermittent blackouts as Transmission Company of Nigeria (TCN) will today begin a 25-day maintenance of Omotosho to Ikeja West 330 kilowatt power line. TCN, in a statement on its X handle, said Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission (NEC) and National Independent System Operator (NISO) have approved the critical infrastructure upgrade. The upgrade involves the installation of optic ground wire fiber cable on Omotosho to Ikeja West 330 kilowatt transmission line scheduled for July 28 to August 21 from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. TCN said this in a statement by a General Manager, Public Affairs, Ndidi Imba.
Forward brews as Dangote presses Tinubu to ban imports. The president of the Dangote Group, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, has asked President Bola Tinubu to include refined petroleum products on the list of items banned under the Nigerian First policy of the federal government. But this was unanimously rejected by oil marketers and some industry analysts on Sunday. The Nigeria First policy seeks to ban government agencies from importing goods that can be produced within Nigeria. In May, Tinubu banned government agencies from importing goods and services that are available locally. The policy stated that no procurement of foreign goods or services already available in Nigeria shall proceed without justification and a Bureau of Public Procurement waiver.
Now from the Vanguard newspaper this morning. 2027 presidency, we are not fixated on zoning, said by ADC. Ahead of the 2027 presidential election, African Democratic Congress, ADC, on Sunday revealed it was not fixated on the contentious issue of zoning. The party said it was rather focused on building a strong grassroots-based political structure across Nigeria. This came as the secretary of the Coalition Subcommittee on the Feasibility of the Registration of a New Political Party, Dr. Umar Ado, on Sunday dismissed speculations that the coalition had abandoned its application for the registration of All Democratic Alliance, ADA.
APC defends Giwa amidst fierce opposition over INEC rights. The emergence of Minister of Human Affairs and Poverty Reduction, Professor Netawe Giwa, as the new national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, is not sitting well with some Nigerians, particularly members of the opposition. Giwa's previous role as a resident electoral commissioner with the Independent National Electoral Commission is viewed by the opposition as a strategic move by President Bola Tinubu to compromise the Commission's independence ahead of the 2027 general election. The new APC national chairman emerged from the National Executive Committee meeting of the party held on Thursday, July 24th at the Presidential Villa in Abuja. Iwade will resign as INEC rep for Benue State in 2022, replaced the XY national chairman, Dr. Abdulfatai, who resigned his appointment in June 27 due to health issues.
Still from the Vanguard newspaper this morning, 2025 budget funding under pressure as oil output underperforms in first half of 2025. There are indications that the 2025 federal budget has come under funding pressures as the Petroleum Industry Regulator, Nigerian Upstream Regulatory Commission (NUPRC) recorded significant underperformance of crude oil output in the first half of 2025. The budget, said to be mainly funded from oil revenue, was benchmarked on 2.06 million BPD oil output, $75 per barrel, and an exchange rate of 1,500 naira per dollar. However, the NUPRC reports for the first half of 2025 show that the target was not met.
Now on state and high alert as the Damo flood death toll rises. Following the devastating flood that swept through parts of Adamawa State on Sunday, leaving dozens, many of them children, missing and hundreds displaced. Other states across the country are scrambling to avert a similar catastrophe, with flood waters wreaking havoc in communities like Shakari, Low Cost, and Yode Pate in Dola, the Adamawa State capital. The disasters triggered widespread emergency response efforts nationwide, from Anambra, Sokoto to Gombe, Edo, Ogun, Bayelsa, and beyond. State governments are activating flood preparedness plans, clearing drainage channels, assessing dam stability, and intensifying public sensitization campaigns as warnings from meteorological agencies signal a potentially severe flood season ahead. It's a very devastating one. This flood sweeping across communities and bringing about loss of lives and missing children.
Still from the Vanguard newspaper this morning, NIMC cautions against sale unauthorized disclosure of NIN. The National Identity Management Commission (NIMC) has expressed deep concern over a recent statement by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) revealing the illicit sale of personal data, including national identification numbers (NIN) by some Nigerians. According to the EFCC, the fraudulent scheme involves young individuals offering victims between 1,500 naira and 2,000 naira in exchange for their personal information, which is then sold to certain fintech companies for up to 5,000 naira. NIMC described the practice as a serious security breach with grave consequences for affected NIN holders. The Commission emphasized that it will not be held liable for any personal information voluntarily disclosed by individuals, either directly or through a proxy for financial gain or inducement.
Ogun Imams reject daytime curfew for monarchs' burial rites. The League of Imams and Alfas of the state on Sunday raised their alarm over plans by traditionalists to impose a daytime curfew on residents of the Kolaje and Idiroko communities in the Fukia local government area of the state. The planned curfew already generating tension and anxiety in the affected communities, particularly among Muslims and traditionalists, is said to be in connection with the burial rites of the late Oniko of Koland of Bajon at Dekunle in a petition to Governor Dapo Abiola dated July 24th, with copies also sent to the Commissioner of Police, the Director of the State Security Service, the Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, among others. The Muslim leaders warned that the actions of the traditionalists were in flagrant disobedience to the Nigerian Constitution, which guarantees fundamental human rights.
And still from the Vanguard newspaper this morning, Sanwo-Olu From the Vanguard newspaper this morning, Sanwo-Olu to local government bosses, no room for pettiness politicking. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State yesterday directed the newly elected local government and local council development areas (LCDAs) to suspend appointment of executive members for 60 days pending conclusion of needs assessments of the respective council. Governor Sanwo-Olu also urged the council bosses to see their electoral victory as a mandate to improve grassroots development. The governor made the remark at the swearing-in and oath-taking ceremony of the newly elected council chairman and vice chairman in Lagos State held at the sports ground Governor's Office, Lagos House in Ikeja, where he urged them to use the local government autonomy wisely for the benefit of the people. The governor tasked them to take their time before appointing cabinet members. Sanwo-Olu said, and I quote, "Be humble. We plan to organize various capacity training, including facilitators like Economic and Financial Crime Commission (EFCC), and there is no room for pettiness. Politicking is over."
Still on the Punch, Ibadan awaits Ladoja as Olakule's mourning period ends. The Ibadan designate of Barashidi Ladoja is expected in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, any moment from now. This follows the expiration of 21 days of mourning for the 43rd Olubadan Ibadan land Oba Owolabi Olakuleyin. Punch reports that Oba Olakuleyin, who celebrated his 90th birthday on Saturday, June 5th, joined his ancestors. On Monday, June 7th, he was expected to mark his first coronation anniversary on Saturday, June 12th, before he died.
Still from the Vanguard newspaper this morning, welfare. Federal government to launch tertiary institution staff support fund. The Federal Ministry of Education has introduced the Tertiary Institution Staff Support Fund (TISSF) to strengthen Nigeria's tertiary education system. The initiative is designed to enhance the welfare and professional development of academic and non-academic staff in universities, polytechnics, and colleges of education. Unveiled at the high-level stakeholder engagement section held in Abuja, the Minister of Education, Dr. Maruf Tunji Alausa, at the event stated the fund was part of the administration's broader effort to reposition the tertiary education sector in alignment with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's renewed hope agenda.
Zamfara village grieves as bandits kill 35 over ransom. The stories on the Punch: 35 kidnapped victims from Banga village in Kora Mamanda, local government area of Zamfara state, have reportedly been killed by bandits over their failure to pay 35 million naira ransom. A resident of the village, Sani Suleiman, told the Punch by phone via phone that the bandits adopted 53 people from the community and demanded 1 million naira per captive. According to him, the 53 kidnapped victims had been in captivity for several months, with only 18 of them able to pay the ransom and were released.
Still from the Vanguard newspaper this morning, Shetima goes Addis Ababa for second United Nations Food System Summit. The Vice President, Senator Kashim Shetima, departed Abuja on Sunday for Addis Ababa, the Ethiopian capital, to represent Nigeria at the second United Nations Food System Summit, slated for July 27 to 29. Senator Shetima will join other global leaders at the high-level events on advancing the transformation of the coffee value chain, as well as engage in other roundtables and meetings aimed at bolstering Nigeria's food security drive. The summit is expected to bring together global leaders to reflect on progress made since the inaugural 2021 United Nations Food System Summit and accelerate commitment toward building resilient, inclusive, and sustainable food system.
This brings me to the Guardian newspaper. EFCC is investigation of 18 sitting governors. The chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, OLUWAFUNKE, has announced an ongoing investigation of 18 governors for various financial malpractices. OLUWAFUNKE repeated the notorious fact that the EFCC can only investigate sitting governors but may not prosecute them until their tenure expires. He said, "We don't wait until governors complete a tenure before we begin our work. Right now, the FCC is actively investigating its sitting governors. Once the tenure is over, we will proceed accordingly." That message was delivered at a recent public awareness program, perhaps to serve as warning.
Now from the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, electricity supply worsens despite high tariff. Citizens in several states of the Federation have continued to grapple with epileptic electricity supply and soaring bills. From industrial hubs in Kano, Borno, and Kaduna State to households in Lagos, Ogun, Benue, and Plateau residents and small business owners who spoke to Daily Trust expressed frustration over a system they said had failed them. But the Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, through his media aide, Bolaji Tunji, said the government was trying to resolve the problems, emphasizing that we won't get there overnight.
Kwakwa's claim of northern neglect is false, divisive. Umahi, Minister of Works, David Umahi is lambasted Kano State Governor, former Kano State Governor, and presidential candidate of the New Nigerian People's Party (NPP) in the 2023 general election, Rabiu Musa Kwakwaso, over claims of northern neglect, describing it as false, misleading, and politically self-serving. In a statement issued over the weekend, the Works Minister maintained that the North accounts for 52%, while the South has 48% out of the total length of Tinubu's legacy project, stressing that Kwakwasu's claims were aimed at deceiving Northerners and stirring unnecessary regional sentiment.
Still from the Daily Trust newspaper, World Hepatitis Day, patients decry funding challenge job losses. Patients in Nigeria have shared their harrowing experience as the global community marks World Hepatitis Day today, July 28th, under the theme Hepatitis, Let's Break It Down. From one of the patients, Yusuf was diagnosed with hepatitis B when he applied for the employment in a security agency in Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. He said that for over 2 years, he tried to cure the disease using traditional medicine but without success. Eventually, he went to the hospital for treatment. His doctor told him the disease has already damaged his liver and would have been much worse if he had waited longer before seeking care. For further reading, you can check the Daily Trust newspaper with the headline World Hepatitis Day, Patient Decry Funding Challenge, Job Losses.
Yeah, today is World Hepatitis Day. I hope that we can channel more resources into the health sector. It's not just about hepatitis and other very challenging ailments out there people are battling with. Support our people living with this disease and give them all the care they need. UBEC unveils 3-year plan to reintegrate 10 million out-of-school children. The Universal Basic Education Commission, UBEC, has said that its 3-year plan to reintegrate 10 million out-of-school children back into school will commence in earnest. Speaking at a 2-day retreat organized for the Commission's senior staff, the Executive Secretary, AISHA said the move is in line with the Commission's strategy blueprint set in motion to reduce the out-of-school children menace by 70% between 2025 to 2028, according to her. UBEC is also plans to mobilize stakeholders to work in close coordination on key priorities in delivering the basic education needs for the betterment of children.
Still from the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, police arrest 6 officers for assaulting civilian in viral video. The Delta State Police Command has arrested 6 officers caught in a viral video allegedly assaulting a civilian in the state. The command spokesperson Adefe Bright confirmed the arrest, stating the police were aware of the video circulating on social media, which showed officers engaging in unprofessional conduct. He said the incident, which occurred on July 27 at the Asaba Specialist Hospital, prompted the Commissioner of Police, Olufemi Abaniwanda, to order the immediate identification and detention of the officers involved for disciplinary action. According to Edafe, the officers have been identified and are currently in custody, awaiting an orderly room trial. He added that the team leader and assistant superintendent of police has also been issued a query.
This brings me to the last story to wrap up our newspaper review this morning. Malaria kills 9 Nigerians every hour. This report is on The Guardian. Malaria continues to claim life at alarming rates in Nigeria, with 9 deaths recorded every hour. And according to the Society for Family Health, a health-focused non-governmental organization leading prevention efforts across the country at a media orientation on malaria prevention in Kano, social and behavioral change specialist Sister Deborah Onyema disclosed that the disease remains a critical public health challenge, affecting 97% of Nigerians, particularly children under 5 and pregnant women. She said Nigeria alone accounts for nearly 110 million clinically diagnosed malaria cases annually, and malaria kills 9 people every hour in Nigeria. Oyema said an estimated 30% of child deaths and 11% of maternal deaths each year are caused by malaria. 1 in every 5 global malaria deaths occurs in Nigeria. she added that 2 in every 4 people with malaria in West Africa are Nigerians, underlining the country's heavy burden. And as today is also World Hepatitis Day, we just hope we get to focus on how to reduce, all of these health challenges in our country, especially for people affected. Malaria, it's a global phenomenon, and we must not neglect the place of our responsibilities in tackling this very health challenge. Thank you for joining us on Newspaper Review this morning. Well, it's a new week. Go out there and win. Is this or nothing? I am OLUWAFUNKE Israel, and thank you for joining us again. Yes, I repeat that. It's for a reason. Yeah, do well, to enjoy the rest of your day. And we always had great one on the show, and it's possible by our producer, Najib Olakure. Bye for now.
Yeah, it's another morning, beginning of another week. So please let's endeavor to be productive in one way or the other. Thank you for joining the program Newspaper Review this morning. I'm Aisha Ibrahim. Do have a great day and a great week ahead.
We are your connection to the sounds that surrounds you. Hit music belongs here.
I got the keys to the city.
This is Vicinity FM 95.3.
Are you a business owner looking to grow your brand or launch your hustle for enhanced value? Vicinity 95.3 FM Ikejile, Ijesha, Osun State is calling on public and private establishments to advertise your